he had promised us a very quiet, said this was going to be the quietest campaigns ever. And actually they had lived up to that hype until that incident happened. And it is really unfortunate because, like my namesake here said, for a very long time, the opposition has thrived on such mistakes by the government, especially by the security forces, to gain all this sympathy. Before that happened, there wasn't really much to talk about. And that's why you see a very big section of Ugandans were trying to now scrutinize the message, to look into the message of the candidates. That's it was now about issues versus just empty talk and hype. But until now, the arrests happened, now talk shifted. Because you have to understand that Ugandans are a traumatized population, especially when it comes to elections. Really? Yeah, we have seen what has happened in the past. That's actually that talk. So
the sound of elections brings back
yes,
trauma
that
memories.
talk of the elections are boring. Wasn't really actually about the elections not having money, but it was about those skirmishes which people have been used to in the past. Now, this time around, we were having the chance of seeing an election that has never been seen before. Actually, we had never seen an election as peaceful as it has been. That's why now we are now really trying now to look at the candidates, how the messages they are putting across, what are their strategies, and all of a sudden, something really happens. And but I believe that whoever is responsible has taken has taken the lessons, and I'm really hoping that going forward we are not going to have this continue, because first of all, when you look at the conduct of I want to believe that this election has two major candidates. That is President Museveni and then the NUP candidate, Honorable Kyagulanyi. Those are the strongest candidates, and so the hype or the vibe around the elections is always going to be along those two. So if the police or the army or the security forces in general are going to give relevance, I mean relevance, not that it's not relevant, but when I use relevance, I mean in the political sense. If they are going to give relevance to Honorable Kyagulanyi, who has actually shown that he is very deliberate on showing government as the aggressor. Because you've seen his morning briefings. Each time he's going to start campaigns, he makes sure his message is very direct to his what? To his troops. Government is looking for ways of branding us as this and this. So I beseech you guys, no violence. Even he positions them, or he organizes them in how they should move, how they should sit on the cars, tells them no, this thing of sticking, I mean, people taking rides outside the cars, you know, clinging on the cars outside. He tells them that shouldn't be. So you look at a person who is really trying to put government on the defensive in case they do anything. So if you are a person in the security forces and you're looking at such messages, I think the best way to do is not to actually fall into the trap.
It's to refrain.
Yes, refrain yourself. Because this guy is really showing you that his number one message is directing the focus on the government, especially in trying to look at possible, is foreseeing, is predicting that these guys are violent. So if you go ahead and do exactly what he's trying to paint you as being, then it means people are not learning. And commanders who do such things, especially if it's not orders from above, then we think such people are not doing a very good job. We want really this campaign to be issues-based so that the electorate can actually get the best candidate.
Okay.
I don't like this issue of people giving sympathy votes. It takes away reason. You know, it takes away reason from. It gives us bad candidates. So let the election be peaceful, so that we give Mr. Mao his flowers at the end of the day. That is what we want as Ugandans.
So that it becomes the rightful prophet.
Yes.
Well, let me get to Joseph Sabiti, who is in Mbale. There seems to be some twists and turns now from the peaceful, calm, boring as branded by some people election to now arrests coming through, altercations with security forces. What could have brought about that change? Is it a one-off that we should be able to, put aside? Is it some excited officers who felt this has to happen nevertheless?
Well, Mildred, I think that in assessing the conduct of the security agencies, we should place it on the balance of probabilities. If you've covered the previous elections in comparison to this one, clearly it's a party on the political scene. And I think that people at police headquarters, Afande Abbas Byakagaba, and the director of operations, Frank Mwesiga, and the sector commanders, I think thus far, I give them their flowers. There are definitely incidences which are going to attract the intervention or the conduct, the exchanges between the political groups and security. I used to ask myself why, for example, the police stops processions on the road, Mildred. Until I think about 12 hours ago, one of the councillors for Chanja had a procession in Chisasi, and they found somebody's Mercedes Benz brand new at the traffic lights, waiting for the lights to go green. And border cyclists escorting this candidate rammed into that Mercedes Benz, and it was for someone I know. When they took the Benz to the garage, Mildred, the money required to fix the damages was about 6 million Uganda shillings. If you multiply the value of the motorcycle of the border by 10, definitely you will not get that. So there are those issues, question of processions, and as well as public order and things like that. But also there's the concept of people, errant officers who go out of the way and probably in a bid to impress, who do things that become very, very confusing. For me, I think that speaking to my friend Frank Mwesiga, who I know is director of operation and the other security agencies, I think we can give this country a proper election, allow it to focus on the issues, do not play the marketing role for the opposition, especially there are people who have no ideas. So when you make an arrest, then they make it a big point. If they stay on course in regard to how they've conducted themselves, I think we'll have a fantastic analysis to do at the end of the day. But there is one side of the confrontations, Mildred, that I think has not been highlighted by the media, either by omission or intentionally. In Budaka, there was actually a clash between supporters of the Honorable Nandala Mafavi and the supporters of the National Unity Platform. I remember the Honorable Nathan addressing the media and saying, if Noop thinks they know violence, he has the capacity to retaliate. So it is not just the security forces to look at. We also have an own goal happening in the opposition 18, where there's a possibility that people are going to score goals in their own net. So I think that is the aspect to look at. But also, Mildred, I think, I don't know if I am the only one who has seen it. There's a radical, complete shift in the campaign strategy of the ruling National Resistance Movement Party. You will not see instances where Tuhaise from Masindi Kafu is going to Zombo and going to campaign and doing things like that. They have, I think it started with the concept of the meeting in Bukedia, where about 16,000 NRM party leaders from all the villages in the Teso sub-region came to Bukedia, and from there they were commissioned to go and look for the vote. So the NRM is using a strategy where the party chairperson at the village and the LC1 chairperson, most of whom are NRM by party affiliation, are the ones going across and looking for the votes. They feed into the LC2 structure, then feed into the LC3, and then feed into the district. So I know that, for example, every chairperson of the NRM at the village level has been given a target of 200 votes. Go to your village and bring 200. And then if you multiply that by the number of villages across the country, the numbers literally cross the winning mark. I know that this Sunday, for example, there's going to be a meeting of all NRM chairpersons from the Bugisu sub-region, and they will meet at the cricket overgrounds in Bali, and then the president will come, the party leaders will come, and then they will have a conversation about how they can do grassroots mobilization. Because of that change of strategy, a lot of the activities are happening down on the grounds, and therefore I think some of the things, the changes we are seeing are a result of change of strategy. But also, let's face it, the NRA man knows, because I know he's a nationalist. He moves across the country, Mildred. If you move to actually sub-region, for example, and you're doing political predictions and analysis, you can barely name one candidate that you can say is likely to sail through to parliament on the NUP ticket. I have been deliberate about trying to find how the numbers stand, how the ratings are. If you cross to West Nile, I don't know if Derek or my brother Baguma can name one candidate from the National Unity Platform for a parliamentary seat that you can actually say is likely to cross the mark. The same might be replicated in actually Lamo sub-region. The competition is going to in Lamo. It is clearly UPC and the NRM. So I think there's some other side factors that are shaping how the relationship between the civil military relations are happening. But there's a complete turnaround in terms of campaign messaging, in terms of the situation on the ground. So in the entire Western sub-region, I come from there. I follow the politics of that place. I am interested in it. I cannot name one NUP candidate that I say has maybe, let's say, even a 55% of making it to parliament. Any victory in that region for the National Unity Plan for the parliamentary seat will be a shocker. So now, if you don't have the vibe at the local level, even the possibility of interaction